Ladies and gents, welcome back. Yesterday I talked about vaccine mandates for domestic travel and outgoing international flights being suspended. Everyone was very excited about that kind of news coming to the plate. Of course, everyone also a little skeptical of what was going to go down. Now, the article from CTV News that I shared yesterday was just that. It was a leak. Hey, guess what? They're going to be having this conference. So what did I do? I paid attention to that conference, and with Mr. Algebra over here and his cohorts making an announcement saying that they're going to lift travel restrictions on travel. Essentially, what they were doing was making sure that Canadians who were fired can go back to work and help out, because the airline industry has been really having a hard time getting people processed at the airports. Now, what does this mean for Canadians who actually do want to travel? Canadians who want to leave the country, come back, maybe Canadians who want to travel even within the country? Well, the Arrive Can app is still going to be an issue. Now, Arrive Can, if you don't remember, and I put this out on Twitter, suspending the vaccine mandate for air and train travel, but keeping Arrive Can app. Right. A big issue for the Freedom Convoy and truckers in North America. If this doesn't spell out how vindictive this government is for you, I don't know what will. To which Marcel Desjardins replies here saying, I just spent at least 5 phone calls and 1.5 hours trying to get that app going. Of course, the idiots wrote the information on the website. Nothing that was clear enough to do yourself. A lot of my calls were taken by clueless so-called customer service representatives. Also replied, an unvaccinated traveler will be subject to quarantine time, which has several steps that must be followed. Again, following a confusing as AF, and government so-called customer service agents that hardly speak English. They do it on purpose to discourage travel, says Marcel here. Now, a main theme during this conference, and I'll leave a link in the description, you can listen to the whole thing in its entirety, was there was one great question actually from one reporter saying, what was the science that you just figured out just now that all the provinces had figured out ages ago? Is the science changing? Did you get some new information? Or was this political? It made it really obvious that this was political science, not science, or perhaps the science, not science in general, that led to this decision to do this. But the main theme of this was, hey, we're suspending this. It can come back at any time. And not only that, we're going to be pushing for a new definition of fully vaccinated. In fact, we're not going to call it fully vaccinated at all. And here comes the stories. CTV News. It's high time that authorities revise the definition of fully vaccinated, experts say. To say that instead of saying it fully vaccinated, we're up to date. Up to date is the new terminology that they want to use. And they're going to be trying to roll this out while nobody's looking, because the prerequisites won't be held up to place for the summer. So people who are currently fully vaccinated, when they roll it back in the fall, you're not going to be fully vaccinated, and you're going to have to go take that good old dose of money. I mean, good old dose of profits. I mean, good old dose of something you didn't want anyway. Here we go. Here's the article.
As more evidence emerges on the efficacy of...
I think that was a Freudian slip. She said, as more evidence emerges. It sounded like as more evidence submerges, because that's what's happening these days with any evidence. It's all being submerged below the level of visibility when in the public eye. So, well, I think that was just a Freudian slip by CTV News here.
As more evidence emerges on the efficacy of third doses of COVID-19 vaccines, some experts say it's high time to redefine what it means to be fully vaccinated. Some want that definition to include a booster dose, but the calls...
Some want. This is news speak for we want. Or we were told that you want it. Some is not all, and some is definitely not a majority of people that would like to have their bodily autonomy and be able to make decisions on health questions of health and what they want to do with their own health in that sense. Of course, the flu shots have been around for ever and ever and ever. Amen. And everyone had the choice. It should be the same with this. Keeping up to date.
This has sparked a debate among the medical community. With more, I'm joined by Dr. Marla Shapiro, CTV News medical contributor. Dr. Marla, good morning. So, how many doses would you consider to make a person fully vaccinated?
I think this is a great question because this is a question that people have been asking for 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years we've been asking this question. And what kind of answers do we get? We get, you're a conspiracy theorist. Just sit down. We never said it would stop transmission. Yes, you did. We never said it would prevent infection. Yes, you did. Look over there. There's a war in Ukraine. And this is the kind of response we've been getting from the news media. So what kind of answer did we get from Dr. Vampire in the dark over there? I think she needs to go outside and touch grass because, like, this is just unheard of.
I think firstly, I would get rid of that phrase fully vaccinated, and I would substitute it with a more meaningful phrase. And that phrase would be, are your vaccines up to date? And we use that for any vaccine when we're assessing it. For example,
do we use that for any vaccine? Is your smallpox vaccine up to date? Is your polio vaccine up to date? No, that's not how that works, is it?
If you're a pregnant woman, with each and every pregnancy, you're going to get a pertussis vaccine, and that will mean you're up to date. So it can be situation specific. And when it comes to the case of COVID, as we've learned, 2 vaccines, particularly in an older population, an immune compromised population, just does not give you long-term immunity, and we're recommending boosters. So I think the phrase up to date speaks to the individualization of what we should be recommending, because 2 shots in that group certainly will not be up to date, or if you will, fully vaccinated.
Why are some medical experts calling to make third doses the magic number?
Oh, I don't even think it's a third dose that's the magic number. It may even be a 4th dose as a booster, and we have to see what lies beyond. Because
again, conspiracy theory 101 was 2 years ago, if anybody said, or a year and a half ago, if anybody said, you're going to be required to get more. You're going to be required to get more of these things. And it's going to be tied to that little QR code that you were magically given by the government authorities. So you can walk around and show me the papers. Where are your papers? This is what you got called a conspiracy theorist for. not even. This is why they're calling them. They're calling them spoiler alerts, not conspiracy theories. What else does this woman? What other Alex Jones plots is she gonna reveal here?
Remember, when we started with this, we thought,
honestly, she needs to be petting a cat while doing this in a large swivel chair.
That this was going to be a 2-dose series. Mm-hmm. We thought for Pfizer it would be 21 days and Moderna would be 28 days. Then
it's funny that they thought it was a 2-dose series, but so many other people knew that it wasn't going to be, including the people buying the stuff up for the government. They bought more than was enough for 2 doses.
Information evolves, and we realized longer intervals between vaccines were better. And then as time went on, we recognized that the 2-dose series, particularly in some populations, didn't give you enduring, robust immunity, and a 3rd vaccine was recommended. And then subsequently, a 4th booster has been recommended. So the definition of what is...
She's got a smug look on her face, like she just came up with this. Like, people have been saying this for ages.
Required to give you the best protection that you can from serious disease, ICU admissions, or death has been evolving. And I think that's where we've been getting some pushback. And I think
yeah, you have been getting some pushback. So the reason why there's pushback is if you're trying to take care of the individual, well, the individual, it's up to them to take care of themselves. What was argued here was that if somebody wasn't inoculated, they could transmit this to other people. And that was the danger to the herd, so the herd immunity needed to be there. Everyone needed to be immune in order to not transmit it. Now we're told that you can transmit it no matter what, if you have the inoculation or not, which isn't an inoculation. It's just it apparently doesn't inoculate you. So you can still catch it, just like our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who caught it twice in 6 months. And he's up to date to this standard. So I'm not sure where we're going with this. Anyway, without going too long into this, I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can watch Dr. Spock here in her darkness. Again, needs to touch grass. Anyone who's indoor that long, get outside. Please go outside and touch grass. It does the body great. Get some of that vitamin D in you. It's a natural thing that you get from the sun. It's like photosynthesis for humans. But definitely a thing you guys could go watch. Another thing that they're arguing is let's give them more to kids. And that was the end part of it that we didn't get into there. But definitely let me know what you think in the description down below, in the comments down below, sorry. What do you think about this? Should we have a 10th shot? Why don't we get into the 20th, 30th? Can we do them all at once? Can I just have a liter done, and then I just get it for the decade? Just pump me up. I want some guns from just, vaccine guns. Get it going, because it's just getting ridiculous at this point. We're at a point where the facade of an emergency is gone. It's over. Nobody is scared of this except a few people who are traumatized into their basements and haven't emerged. For them, again, touch grass. It'll help you out. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. I'm pretty disgusted with it, but I'm not going to let this video go too much longer. So we'll talk to you in the next one. Check us out tonight. We're going to be on Brando on the go. I'm going to be on there. He's doing a podcast tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Leave a link in the description. We're going to be talking about media censorship. Is independent media being shadow banned? So we'll be talking about that this evening. It'll be like one of my live streams, except with somebody else, with other people in the conversation. So hey, come on over, join us in that, and we'll see you in the next video. Keep on trucking.